You know what's insanely common? Getting lean for like 8 minutes, taking 2 decent photos, then slowly drifting right back to where you started. Like your body was on a software update you never approved. And the worst part is most people think the hard part is losing the fat. It's not. Losing fat is actually the easy sales pitch. Keeping it off is where the whole thing turns into a horror movie with meal prep containers. That's the first truth nobody likes hearing. Getting lean and staying lean are not the same goal. They sound similar, but they are completely different games. One is short-term suffering with a finish line. The other is building a way of living that doesn't make you secretly miserable. And a lot of people keep using short-term fat loss strategies for a long-term body they want to maintain year after year, which is basically like flooring the gas pedal and acting confused when the car explodes. This is why so many diets work and still fail. During the diet, the scale drops. Your face looks sharper. Your confidence goes up, and suddenly you start thinking maybe this is the new you. Then a few months later, life happens. You go out more. You stop being weirdly excited about low-calorie yogurt. You get tired of saying no to everything fun. And somehow, the weight creeps back up like it was never that impressed by your effort in the first place. And this is not just a motivation problem. It's not because you're lazy broken, or addicted to carbs because you ate bread twice and felt emotions. The actual issue is that most fat loss plans are built like temporary prison sentences. They rely on extreme restriction, obsessive tracking, and pretending you're completely fine, eating like a retired woodland animal forever. Of course, that falls apart. It was always going to fall apart. We've seen this play out over and over. People can absolutely lose a lot of weight fast. That part is real. But long-term maintenance, that's where things get ugly. A lot of people regain most of it, all of it, or sometimes even more than they lost. Which sounds depressing, but it's actually useful because it tells you the problem isn't fat loss itself. The problem is the method. If your plan only works when your life is perfectly controlled, your plan doesn't work. Your life is not a laboratory. It's random. It's messy. It involves restaurants, birthdays, bad sleep, stress, holidays, and those I'll just have one foods that are obviously lying to you. So if your goal is to get lean for a wedding, a photo shoot, a holiday, or one shirt you really want to wear without looking like it's under attack, sure, you can use aggressive tactics for a short burst. That's a deadline goal. Different story. But if your goal is to actually stay lean, feel good, train hard, and not spend every day negotiating with your fridge like a hostage situation, then your strategy has to change. Because the body you can keep is the only body that actually matters. And that means we need to stop asking, what loses fat the fastest? And start asking, what can you still do when the excitement dies? Your schedule gets busy and nobody is clapping for your grilled chicken anymore. That's where this whole thing starts to make sense. Because fat loss is not magic. And it's definitely not about punishing yourself harder than everyone else. There's a reason the weight comes off, a reason it slows down, and a reason most people mess it up right after things start working. And once you understand that staying lean stops feeling impossible, because here's what's actually happening inside your body, and this is where most people screw it up. At the center of all fat loss, there's one boring rule that people keep trying to outsmart, because boring rules are terrible for book sales. You have to burn more energy than you eat. That's it. A calorie deficit is not trendy, not sexy, and not emotionally supportive, but it is still the rule. Your body is using energy all day to keep you alive, to move you around to digest food, and to deal with whatever chaotic workout plan you found online at 1 a.m. If you consistently eat less than what your body uses, you lose weight. If you consistently eat more, you gain. Your body does not pause and ask whether the calories were clean, organic, keto, ancestral, or blessed by a shirtless influencer in a grocery store. The useful part is understanding where that energy burn actually comes from. A big chunk is just keeping you alive. Heart beating, lungs, working brain, doing its thing. organs not filing a complaint. Then you've got training, which matters, but usually not as much as people think. Then there's all the movement outside the gym, like walking, standing, fidgeting, pacing, existing like a normal human, instead of a decorative houseplant. That part is huge. And then there's the small amount of energy your body uses to digest food. Put all that together and you get your daily energy output. So, let's say, your body uses around 2,500 calories a day, and you eat 2,000. Cool. You've got a deficit. Do that consistently, and fat loss happens. Not instantly because you are not a microwave, but over time, yes. The problem is, people hear this and immediately go full chaos mode. They slash calories into the floor, add a ton of cardio, and start acting like suffering is evidence of effectiveness. Then, a few weeks later, they're exhausted, hungry, weaker in the gym, weirdly emotional over cereal, and wondering why this doesn't feel sustainable. Mystery of the century. And then there's the part that makes people think their metabolism is broken when it's really just behaving exactly like a body would. As you lose weight, your body burns fewer calories. That's normal. A smaller body needs less energy. You burn less at rest because there's less of you to maintain. You burn less during movement because you're carrying around less mass. You often move less without noticing because dieting makes you a little less lively. And when you eat less food, you also burn less digesting it. So the same calorie intake that created a nice deficit at the start might create a much smaller one later. That's not damage. That's adaptation. Which is why a good fat loss phase needs 3 things, and none of them are detox tea. First, you need a calorie deficit that you can actually maintain without becoming unbearable to be around. Second, you need resistance training, because if you lose weight without telling your body to keep muscle, it will happily get rid of some muscle too. Your body is efficient like that, annoyingly efficient. Third, you need enough protein because protein helps preserve muscle, while you diet and also tends to keep you fuller. Not magic, just useful. Very useful. This is also why slow fat loss usually wins. Not because slow is more hardcore. It's the opposite. It works because it doesn't feel like your life is under attack. You can still go out sometimes. You can still train well. You can still function like a person instead of a calorie-tracking surveillance drone. And when the process is slow enough that it barely feels like a diet, you're way less likely to rebound the second you hit your goal. That's the part most people miss. They think the answer is more discipline. Usually, the answer is less drama. And if you ignore all of this, the ending is usually pretty predictable. You diet hard, lose some weight, feel great for a minute, then stay in cutting mode way too long because now you're scared to eat normally again. Hunger keeps climbing. Training starts feeling flat. Sleep gets worse. Your mood gets a little weird. Food gets louder in your head. Then one weekend turns into one rough month and suddenly you're back in the same place, except now you also think you can't trust yourself. Which is a brutal conclusion to draw when the real issue was that your plan was built to end badly. Because motivation is temporary. Always. Even for the disciplined people. Even for the people who seem like they've got everything locked in. Nobody stays fired up forever. That's why staying lean has way less to do with being motivated, and way more to do with making the right behaviors stupidly easy to repeat. You want habits. You want systems. You want your environment doing some of the work so your willpower doesn't have to cosplay as a superhero every evening. This is where simple stuff matters more than people want to admit. Pair the annoying thing with something you already enjoy. Only watch your favorite show while you're walking. Only listen to that podcast at the gym. Make the good choice the convenient choice, and make the bad choice slightly more annoying. Not illegal, just inconvenient. Don't keep your biggest binge food sitting in the house, acting innocent. They know what they are. If stress makes you eat at night, set up something else that actually helps you decompress before the craving train leaves the station. A better default beats a stronger pep talk. You also need a real plan for after the diet. This is the part almost nobody respects enough. They treat the goal weight like the finish line, when really, it's the handoff. Once you're lean enough, the job changes. You're not trying to lose more. You're trying to hold the result without feeling trapped by it. That usually means bringing calories back up fairly soon, instead of dragging out the diet forever in some weird state of low-energy purgatory. Your maintenance intake is also not one perfect magical number. It's more like a range. Your activity changes. Your routine changes. Life happens. That's normal. What matters is finding the highest intake and the most relaxed routine that still keeps your body where you want it, because that's the version you can actually live with. And yes, you should still keep an eye on your weight after you reach your goal. Not obsessively, not like a lab experiment. Just enough to catch a trend early before 5 pounds becomes 15, and then somehow becomes a story about bad genetics and holiday calories from 2 years ago. A quick check a couple times a week is usually plenty. Data is helpful. Panic is not. And this is really the whole message. Staying lean forever is not about finding the most extreme method you can survive. It's about finding the least miserable method that still works. You need a calorie deficit to lose fat. You should lift if you want to keep muscle. You should eat enough protein to support that. You should expect progress to slow as your body adapts. And you should stop treating normal fluctuations like failure. A few heavier days do not erase months of good decisions. That's just your body being a body, not betraying you for fun. So if you want something practical, start here. Make your deficit a little smaller than your ego wants. Keep lifting. Eat enough protein. Set up one habit that makes movement easier, and one change in your environment that makes overeating harder. Then when you get lean, stop trying to win the diet harder. Learn how to maintain. That's the real flex. Not getting lean once. Being able to keep it without your whole life revolving around food cardio and quiet desperation.